Now it happens that those two films each really had an impact on the culture, on our societal view of movies, what movies can do and how they really affect people. Thelma and Louise was like a bombshell. And were you aware of that at the time, or were you disconnected in some way?
I was certainly aware. I'm more aware of how high my voice is in that. My ass must have been clenched so tight. Being the first one. But no, that one certainly landed and I think was a precursor to where we are now today. Certainly.
Yeah. Did you ever attend classes with Geena Davis?
No. She didn't let me. No, I'm really grateful to Ridley Scott and Geena Davis who gave me that shot, because that was the game, the big league.
How do you mean gave you that shot?
I'm sorry?
How do you mean gave you?
By giving me the part.
Really?
I had nothing to show for myself, except for my extra work. And they took a chance on me, and it was a weird thing. It had gone through a few actors, and literally they were already shooting. I think they were desperate, to tell you the truth. They were already shooting because a week later I was on set and working.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Well, that is a break that people pray for. That was a big movie in every way. Ridley Scott was already well established, and so were those two leading ladies. Did you feel, again, we don't see ourselves as other people see us. Did you feel at the time this is a turning point of some sort?
I knew this was proper. This was, like, I remember reading the script for A Few Good Men. I didn't have any opportunity at it, but somehow I got a hold of it, and this early Aaron Sorkin script, and I noticed right away, this is a movie. And I felt the same about the Thelma and Louise script, that this feels right. This feels like the 70s.
Yeah. As I say, it was a bombshell at that moment, and so was Fight Club, in a different way entirely.
Much different.
Yes. Did you read the novel as well as the screenplay?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Did you get more out of the book somehow that helped you build your character?
Listen, we were having so much goddamn fun on that one. I don't remember research being like the main propellant. Just pretty good fun.
Is there any corollary between how much you enjoy making a movie and whether a movie is successful or not?
Is there any correlation?
Yeah. I mean, you can be on a movie where you're having a great time, and nobody sets out to make a bad movie. Nobody ever sets out to make a bad movie. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it just misses the mark or whatever. And I wonder if you have a good feeling or if you have good antenna for that.
Meaning, if you have a great time on it, does it make the film? Yeah. The answer to that is Ocean's 12. Good. Because that comes through. In that case, we feel it, and that's the... I'm not sure you felt what we were feeling on that one. Yeah. 11, yes.
Not fully.
13, perhaps. Probably.
Not fully. Okay.
12, maybe not.
Okay. And would it be accurate to call him a ringleader?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I get that impression.
Yeah.
I get that impression. Now, we just jumped through the 90s, I mean, with one little fade out between those two clips. But I'd be remiss, and I had to write these down because I knew I'd forget some. This is not everything that you did in the 90s, but just a sampling. A River Runs Through It, True Romance, Interview with the Vampire, Legends of the Fall, 7, which we saw a little bit of, 12 Monkeys, and 7 years in Tibet. That's a hell of a rap sheet for 1 decade of a career. I mean, it's, you really, and you learn to do fly fishing.
Yes.
Is that something you continue to do, or is it just something you learned for a movie? Yeah.
Yep, that's something I ejected when we finished the film. No, that's actually something I'd like to pick up again. That was that was beautiful. But I haven't. But I will. Probably.
Tell me about being directed by Robert Redford.
Oh man. Doesn't understand a call time. Often shows up very late. But man, you got to understand, Redford is one of my heroes growing up. There were films, you know, I certainly feel he's very underrated as an actor when you look at things like Brubaker and Condor. The way he can tell this naturalism he started with talking on top of each other, and the way he like can move the plot along in Condor is just mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing. So he and Newman and these guys were really big in my house, and so to get that was really, really, really humbling. And I'm sure I was more probably trying to impress him each day than I should have been focused more on the part itself. But that was an honor for me. That was, yeah.
Was he a patient director?
He was a great director. I was doing something in a scene, and he just came up and he said, "You're sighing." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Don't do that." And I said, "Okay." And then he said, "When you do that, you let the power out. You let the water out of the scene." And I thought, that's always stuck with me. And it's just one of those little Redfordisms, you know. Like the double take. No, that he's mastered and
Yeah.
he passed on, to me.
The number of films you made is apparently only equaled, or maybe not an equal amount, to the number of films you almost made. How many auditions would you reckon you went on as you were getting your footing?
You mean parts I lost or parts I passed on? Or?
Parts you lost.
Like if we were doing a show on the great movies I've passed on,
well, that's another subset then.
we would need 2 nights.
Okay, just give us a for instance.
No.
Oh, just one.
No.
Just one for instance.
No. Okay, I'll give you one. Only one.
Okay.
Only one, because I really believe it was never mine. It's not mine. It's someone else's, and they go and make it.
Understood.
I really do believe in that. I really do. But I did pass on The Matrix. I took the red pill. That's the only one I'm naming.
That's fine. That's fine. And but were you in the right mood?
I wasn't offered 2 or 3. only the first one. Just to clarify.
You blew it there. You blew your opportunity. The window shut.
Yeah.
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 Were you of a mind to, though? You said we could spend a lot of time talking about this.
I'm sorry?
Were you of a mind to we could list many titles? That you passed on or that you went out for?
Oh, that I went out for. No, you know, I really come from a place of, maybe it's my upbringing, faith, like in the sense that like if I didn't get it, then it wasn't mine. It just wasn't mine. But I could feel myself getting closer, usually the way it works, and I see it with younger actors too, they just get closer and closer to a part, working with great people. They get there. They get there. You can see it.
Yeah. I share your feelings about that. Sometimes it's meant to be, and sometimes it's not meant to be. And you have to just, you get very Zen-like about life and what opportunities you seize and don't seize.
Yeah, I find that pretty helpful in anything you pursue. Yeah.
And you talked about the way you're raised. I'm looking to make sure that I introduce the right clips. I think that would be wise, right? What do you think is your strongest ethic from your having been raised in the Midwest by a stable family?
Man, probably that we don't analyze ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I don't. I'm going to be crap at answering that question. Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
No. I mean, all you owe us is your performances. That's all any actor owes his audience or her audience. Unfortunately, there are other stuff that comes about. You've dealt with the invasion of your privacy. You've dealt with, celebrityhood, and that has nothing to do with acting, though, does it? Acting is a separate entity, and that's what you are willing to give us and share with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Leonard.
Well, it's true. It's true. I think I'm paraphrasing Spencer Tracy, who said something just like that many years ago, and who tried to keep his private life private, and did very successfully. So we don't know very much about you at a certain point, and then you turn up in the movie Snatch, in Guy Ritchie's follow-up to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And before we see a clip from it, tell us how you wound up in that movie. I'm asking like a prosecutor who already knows the answer.
Well, at that time, I was. Am I here? Because it seems really loud right here.
Yeah.
Back here.
Midway.
Back here.
Midway.
Back here.
Yeah.
Sweet spot. Okay. I was looking to see, I had done something that I felt was, I guess, very commercial, and I was really interested to see what new directors were doing, what was coming out. And so I was viewing everything at first-time directors, and I saw this movie, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, by this cat named Guy Ritchie. And so I called him up and I said, hey, I really like what you do, and if there's anything that I fit in, then, let's talk. And he said, well, there is. And I said, great, I'm in. And then panicked till the moment we were shooting.
Why?
Well, it was the dialect. If you haven't seen it, I play this Irish gypsy. And it's unintelligible, the dialect. And it's so, contrary to films you're trained to be clear, to be understood. And so I'm working on the accent and trying to be clear and understood, and it's not working, and it's not working. And I went to him the day before and I said, Guy, I'm gonna fuck up your movie. You should do it. Because he would imitate it. And he said, no. So that night, it was literally, I was supposed to be on set the next morning at 6 a.m. And I was living in North London, and I was walking the streets like a maniac. And my friend kept saying, you can't understand him. You can't understand him. I was like, do it for me. He said, I can't. You can't understand him. And literally at midnight, that clicked in. And I called him up, I woke him up, and I said, are you okay if you can't understand your beautifully written dialogue? And he said, yep. And anyway, but I got to give credit to Benicio del Toro, because it was his brilliant performance in Usual Suspects. He goes, oh, fire you, cocksucker. I was like, and he was, to me, the first person that I'd seen that was fearless with being unintelligible.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but maybe not in a while. Here's a scene from Snatch where you'll see the result of Verad's inspiration, and then a scene from the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.